Hey guys, I'm Valentine Lister. Welcome to my channel and my Major Arcana series. Today I'm going to cover the Hierophant. And we're going to be diving deep into this card. I'm going to be going over all the secret symbolism in this card, including the astrological associations, the numerology, as well as the upright and the reversed meanings. All right, the Hierophant, right? Kind of looks like the Pope, which gives you a little little clue, and we have like a guru here. So I have three versions of the cards, understanding that with tarot, it's like a playing card deck. Like it will have all the same cards, but different like variations of them. So tarot is like the history of tarot is that it was a card game that turned into a divination tool from the 1400s. The most popular version we have in the middle here is the Rider-Waite deck, tarot deck. And so this one came out in 1909. It was published by the publishers Rider and Waite, and the artwork was created by Pamela Coleman Smith. Have to give her a shout out, the lady who drew the pictures. And it's what people mean like when they're like, oh, I've been asked to read like real tarot cards. All these cards are real tarot, but this is the one that people are the most familiar with. And then on the right, we have the Light Seers deck. This is the deck that I started with. I love it so much. I feel like it's so easy to relate to. I feel like the people that I've read for emotionally connect with the cards right away. And then on the left here, we have a version from the Way Home Tarot, which I love. And I use this one because I learned, like one of the books I learned from was WTF Tarot by Bakara Wintner. So if you're interested in checking out any of these decks, or if you are interested in the books that I learned tarot from, I put those links in the description box below. Okay, one of the first things to look at with the card that can be meaningful in this card, or even if you're reading oracle cards, you can kind of know like what certain like these symbols mean in oracle cards. So we see the number 5 here for the Hierophant, and that represents freedom, instability, and change. So it's a roller coaster ride. It's stress and instability. It can be too much to handle, but also suggest excitement, adventure, and movement. So this is a challenging place if you hate change. If you love change, you love excitement and all the drama that comes with it, the 5s can be great. Okay, so moving into the secret symbolism, we're going to do the Rider-Waite that has the most like history of the symbolism. So we have 2 pillars here, and that is similar to the High Priestess. So if you haven't checked out the High Priestess video, check that one out. Okay, and with these pillars, one represents mercy and the other represents severity. So it also could represent law and the freedom to obey or disobey. So it was really confusing to me why like the 5s, they represent freedom and adventure, but they also represent like severe things, like instability, like really difficult things. And that is because the law, right, and obeying is also related to freedom, that we have to have the freedom to obey or disobey. And so like 5s represent the law and difficulties, and then freedom as well. So again, we must have the freedom to choose obedience. So I thought it was cool, like learning like that symbolism when I was studying this card. And so on the top of the pillars, we have the symbols of sexual union, like the male and the female organs together. Hey, hey. All right. And then we have at the feet, we have the keys at the bottom of the feet are made from gold and silver. So it represents the energies and the light from the sun and the moon. And you'll see the crosses here. Remember that like upright was like the male energy, and then like horizontal is the feminine energy. So we also have that symbolism here as well. And so we have the symbols of the kneeling priests, and they represent on their garments, it represents the yoke of union. So one priest here on this side, he's decorated by white lilies and the purity of thought. And the other one is decorated by the red roses of desire. So one thing to notice about this hand symbol here, this guy here it means that what you see is not all there is. So, you know, not everything that meets the eye is all there is. There's more to the story, more beyond what we can see. And the guy here is considered the master of sacred mysteries. So he's wearing the crown of the Pope, and this has meanings to it. So on the bottom, it represents the lower material world. In the middle, the formative world, and on the top, the creative world. And the symbol of 3 on the staff represents the spirit world, your soul, and the body. And the W on the top of the crown is the Hebrew letter Vav, which means nail or union or link. And it means linking, this thing here means linking of man to God through the inner voice, right? Your intuition. And so this card represents, it could represent traditional Orthodox teaching to the masses and external religion. So in the light seer's variation, we have more of like a spiritual guru. He looks more like a yoga teacher, right? But we still have the symbol of 3 on the staff and shirt representing the spirit world, your soul and body. And then we have the crown of light on the head. If you can see this, like you might not be able to see it well in here, but if you had the card, you can actually see a crown on his head. And he's surrounded by various symbols from various religions. So like the Jesus fish, the yin and yang symbol is in there. The heart, Celtic knot, 5-pointed star, yoga. So on the bottom, right, we have the lower material world on the ground. Then the stairs is like this formative world. And then on the top here with the tree, it's the creative world. All right, then I'm going to move on over here to the Way Home Tarot version. Hello. Okay. So this is the wise old mushroom with the roots here. And then we have this like crown, right? The highly spiritual made of earthiness. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the colors. Colors are super important for symbolism and reading anything. So it's important to know like what they represent to just help you, to give you more information on what the card means, right? So we have red here, and it's more like pinkish here, but there's a little red. And that represents desire, passion, vitality, and courage, you know? Meaning like, yeah, there is not all there is to see the eye, because this like Pope looking figure, why is he wearing a robe of desire, passion, and vitality and courage, huh? Okay, anyway, then we also have white here, white as well, and that represents purity, wholeness, and protection. Remember, we had the white lilies, right? Purity. And we have the red roses of desire over here. Yeah, an interesting thing though, with the lilies, right, we have light blue, and that represents serenity, mental clarity, and compassion, right, with this clarity of thought here. And then we have the throat chakra here highlighted by the blue. Cool. And then we also have gray here. Gray represents wisdom, right? And we have a lot of wisdom here. We have a lot of gray. We have gray here too, a little bit of gray here. Gray represents wisdom because it is the mixing of black and white. So in the High Priestess, we saw like black and white pillars, but now in the Hierophant, as we're moving on and progressing in the story, we have this mixing of black and white. So the dark and the light both mixed together give us more insight and more clarity and just more deep inner wisdom, right? Than we had before. And that is in this red roses of desire, no coincidence, right? Actually having like experience in the physical world and experiencing like the realness of desire and all the darkness, as well as the beauty of the light and the love that we experience, leads to wisdom here. So we could see that in his cloak. And then the yellow represents creativity, optimism, enthusiasm. We have some brown here. So brown represents grounding, permanence, and practicality. Pink represents love, friendship, self-esteem, and joy. And then we have some black here, and black represents the power, the unconscious, banishing, and wisdom as well. Okay, so this is a little surprise to me, but the astrological correspondence of this card is the zodiac sign of Taurus, right? Like, and I can see that, right? Tauruses are very earthy, and Tauruses really see like, I feel like Tauruses, one of my daughters is a Taurus, and she sees a lot of like value and beauty, and she really sees the higher purpose of practicality and things that are earthy. She just loves things, but not in a greedy way, in a way that she really appreciates navigating this material world and sees like just like the wonder in it. Right, baby Tauruses, they like the way things are, right? And having things rooted and grounded in tradition, or having a set structure or way things are out of comfort. So if you are a Taurus, a Taurus zodiac sign, sun sign, I'm kind of curious how you relate to this card, and if you can see, like, relate to the meaning of what you see in the cards. Okay, and I've got a nickname to remember this card. If you saw my video on the easiest way to learn the major arcana, you know the nickname or you've heard it, and it's "You better buy me dinner first." You know, like show like tradition and honor and value in that. So if you haven't checked out that video, you don't know what it means, go check it out. I'm going to link it up here the easiest way to learn the major arcana, because it's really important that you view that video, because I talk about the major arcana and link all the cards in one story. And it's important to look and understand that the major arcana is one story. We're not just learning the cards individually. We need to learn them in connection to each other. And that's what that video was all about. And the major arcana represents all the big major life changes that happen in our life, like the big things, like the job, you know, the marriage, the baby, the house, like all of those major things, or even a shift in our spiritual consciousness. Definitely that, right? And it's all linked together versus the minor arcana, which is talking more about like all of the everyday things that happen. Okay, so the upright meaning. The upright meaning means getting involved or having a preference for like the outer forms of religion, the ritual, philosophy, social organization, or a group. The importance of social approval. Better buy me dinner first, right? Before I like go home with you. All right, it needs to conform to society. So examples are finding a spiritual teacher, joining an organized religion. So later on we have the hermit, and that's also kind of relates to spiritual teacher, but this is more a traditional spiritual or religious teacher. Joining an organized religion, starting a meditation practice, building an altar, learning tarot cards, finding a therapist or a soul tribe, even making it official and getting married. If the cards are reversed, that means they're going to come out upside down like this, if you're brand spanking new. And if you are, you need to go check out my other videos as well to get all these meanings. So the reversed meaning means that the energy is there. It's there. It's not like not there, right? But it's being blocked or avoided. You're not letting it come through because you can't handle it. You don't want it to come through. You don't want this to be true. You don't like it. Or there's something about your intuition that's telling you like, don't let this come through, or it hesitates for some reason. And that's usually something that we want to listen to. We want to be aware of it. So if it's reversed, it can mean that there's a rebellion against religious, spiritual, or social norms. It can mean overthrowing a tradition. It could mean creating your own spiritual practice or structure based on your own beliefs. It could mean challenging authority. It could mean leaving a religious or spiritual group, or it could mean things like living together without getting married. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video about the Hierophant. Just wanted to give you a reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for when I release the next video in this series, which is going to be the Lover's card. And if you're watching this, like wait into the future after this video, after this video series is over, and I'm on to something new, don't worry. I've linked a major arcana playlist in the end cards, as well as like an associated video with the major arcana. All right, I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.